कुमार साहब,
हाँ जी सर,
यू कैन स्टार्ट नाउ सर।
ठीक है, हम लोग स्टार्ट करते हैं बस अभी, है ना। उनकी विजय सिंह साहब की वॉइस नहीं आई ना?
अभी तो नहीं आई, उनके ना ईयरफोन में कुछ प्रॉब्लम है,
तो उनको
तो वो
कहो
हो जाएगा
लैपटॉप।
ठीक।
अच्छा, हो जाएगा ठीक।
लैपटॉप तो ठीक है, उनके ईयरफोन की प्रॉब्लम है, वो बदला है कुछ उन्होंने।
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा, मतलब
अभी
कुछ
पहला
बदला उन्होंने।
लेक्चर किनका है? पहला लेक्चर किनका है?
अभी तो इनॉग्रल चलेगा, पहले लेक्चर तो 12 बजे स्टार्ट होगा ना सर।
वो किनका है पहला वाला?
प्रोफेसर जोमार का है, फिलीपींस से। वो अभी ज्वाइन करने वाले हैं, मैंने उनको मैसेज कन्वे कर दिया, तो शायद उनका मैसेज आ रहा है।
तो ठीक है।
हाँ, तो अभी तो है, हाफ एन आवर है उनके लिए तो।
ठीक है ठीक। और विजय सर भी दूसरे से जुड़े हैं अभी।
हाँ ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, दूसरे से जुड़ जाए, ठीक है, अभी तब तक उनकी वॉइस भी आ जाएगी।
Hi, Prof. Sanjeev, do you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Professor Jomar?
Hello. I'm just having problem with my webcam, but yeah, I'm here.
No problem, no problem. No problem, we can wait for 2 to 3 minutes, you can manage the things.
Okay.
Okay, no problem, Professor Jomar. प्रोफेसर सारस्वत जी, प्रोफेसर जोमार जुड़ने वाले हैं बस 1-2 मिनट में, उनके वेबकैम में थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम है।
नमन,
तो यस,
ये अटेंडी में जुड़े हैं मुझे लगता है, यहाँ नहीं दिख रहे ऑर्गेनाइजर में।
मैंने चेक कर लिया था।
हाँ, उधर से चेक करके यहाँ ले आओ इनको।
नहीं है, नहीं सर, वहाँ पे नहीं,
वहाँ भी
नहीं
नहीं
नहीं,
है।
उनके अभी वॉइस आई थी मेरे पास उनकी, उन्होंने कहा है कि मेरे वेबकैम में थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम है, तो मैं अभी वेबकैम को ठीक कर रहा हूँ थोड़ा सा।
हाँ, तो अभी जुड़े नहीं है वो, फिर से डिस्कनेक्ट
नहीं
है।
नहीं, वो डिस्कनेक्ट हो गए, लेकिन मेरे पास अभी वॉइस आई थी उनकी, अभी मतलब
हाँ,
मैंने
आई थी,
वॉइस
मैंने भी
सुनी
सुना।
थी। हाँ
ठीक
हाँ,
है।
तो वी कैन वेट फॉर 1 or 2 minutes.
ओके।
नया सेव कर ले और फिर कर रही है।
नमन, एक बार प्रोफेसर सुंदरलाल जी को और देखना, वो भी मुझे लगता है अटेंडी में जा रहा है।
चेक कर रहा हूँ सर मैं। सर अभी तो नहीं है डंडे में।
अच्छा ठीक है, ये दोनों
नहीं
को
वो,
देखते रहना, उधर आएंगे वो।
नहीं वो आएंगे तो ऑर्गेनाइजर में ही आएंगे ना, उनके पास ऑर्गेनाइजर की ही मेल है।
अच्छा, फिर ज्वाइन नहीं कर पाएगी।
एक बार नमन को, उनको टेक्निकल कुछ क्लिंच आ रहा है, तो उनको बोलो कि जरा सबको गाइड कर दें कि एक बार क्लिक करने के बाद फिर गो टू ओपनर पे जाकर के क्लिक करें।
आगे सुंदरलाल सर आ गए।
हो गए हैं कनेक्ट।
हाँ, आगे
आगे
जुड़ गए।
ओके, ठीक है ठीक है। और प्रोफेसर जोमार को जरा चेक करो।
नहीं, वो नहीं आए।
वो नहीं है सर अभी।
अच्छा, और एक प्रोफेसर गाजी खम्मास,
वो भी नहीं है सर।
अच्छा, तो ठीक है। अब प्रोफेसर जोमार नहीं जुड़ पाए ना अभी तक, तो
हाँ ठीक है।
हाँ सुंदरलाल सर आगे। सर जरा अपना कैमरा थोड़ा ठीक कर लीजिए, हाँ थोड़ा सा और सर।
सर, आवाज आ रही है आपको हमारी? सर गुड मॉर्निंग।
वॉइस अभी नहीं पहुंच रही शायद सर के पास, वॉइस नहीं पहुंच रही है।
उनके पास पहुंच रही है, उनकी इधर नहीं आ रही।
Hello, Prof. Sanjeev. I'm having problem with webcam, but we can continue. I can share anyway my presentation later.
No problem, Professor Jomar. Okay, no problem. Sundarlal sir, good morning sir. आपकी वॉइस नहीं आ रही सर, आप अपना जरा माइक चेक कर लीजिए सर, माइक कहीं म्यूट तो नहीं है?
नहीं म्यूट नहीं है, अनम्यूट है।
अनम्यूटेड है।
सर ईयरफोन एक बार लैपटॉप से निकाल के दोबारा लगाइए सर, वहीं थोड़ा हिट एंड ट्रायल करेंगे, उसी से चल जाएगा वहीं से।
थोड़ा टाइट लगवाने को कहो।
हेलो, हाँ सैमली बताओ। सरस्वती भी, सुंदरलाल सर की वॉइस आई नहीं, जरा चेक करो जरा थोड़ा सा और।
सर की तरफ से थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम है।
संजीव फोन करके बताओ डॉक्टर, फोन करके बता दो।
अच्छा मैं बता रहा हूँ,
फोन करो उनको। हाँ
हाँ भाई,
I think we should start because the program is going to be late and this will create a trouble to us.
Who's going to start, Prof. Sanjeev?
Yeah, are you ready now?
Yeah, even without my webcam, I think I can start.
Okay, so your lecture will be after inaugural function. So inaugural will take around 20 to 25 minutes. So after that, your lecture will start. So in the meanwhile, you can check the webcam and other things also over here.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so there is no problem. So we are going to just start, and just we're going to have some few words by our own vice chancellor and other experts too. Okay, so we are going to start.
जी पहले सुंदरलाल जी को तो ले लो.
सर सुंदरलाल जी का ही थोड़ा सा भी रीसेट करवाया सर उनका.
ठीक है, ठीक.
Okay.
The number you have dialed is currently busy. The person you're trying to reach is
मिस्टर नमन गर्ग.
सर.
नमन गर्ग जरा प्रोफेसर गाजी खम्मास ऑनलाइन है, जरा चेक करिए. प्रोफेसर गाजी खम्मास.
नहीं सर, अभी तक तो नहीं है.
उनका मैसेज आया कि वो ऑनलाइन आ चुके हैं. एक बार जरा चेक करना कहीं गलती से अटेंडी में तो नहीं पहुंच गए.
मैंने वहां पे चेक कर लिया सर.
दोनों जगह नहीं है.
नहीं सर.
अच्छा ठीक है.
उनसे मैसेज करके पूछो संजीव कोई और नाम
मैं
से तो नहीं
वही-
जुड़े.
वही मैसेज डाल रहा हूँ. Hello, Professor Gaji. We are not in the position to see your face over here. Might be some problem. And can you do one thing? Just leave that meeting and then again try to click on the link provided to you.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Most welcome. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I'm waiting, guys. Waiting. Now front of the.
डॉक्टर संजीव कुमार,
हाँ जी.
I'm ready for the name.
इनका नंबर हमें भेज दो गाजी साहब का.
अच्छा गाजी साहब का नंबर. अच्छा मैं भेज रहा हूँ.
हाँ, आ तो रहा है सर आपका, लेकिन ऑफलाइन आ.
मैंने प्रोफेसर गाजी का नंबर आपको भेज दिया है सरस्वती.
कुमार साहब, प्रोफेसर संजीव कुमार जी, आप म्यूट
हाँ जी सर, बताइए।
अनम्यूट करो।
हाँ
आप
जी
सर
बताइए।
स्टार्ट करा दीजिए, क्योंकि एक दूसरी वेबिनार भी है उसके बाद, तो हम जोड़ लेंगे,
ठीक है,
इनको हम जुड़वा देंगे सर।
ठीक है, ठीक है, आप बस इस पे काम करिए, हम लोग स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं। सो
मेरे पास
शैल वी
नंबर है,
स्टार्ट
मैं
सर?
सबको जोड़ूंगा।
जोड़िए, आप जोड़िए बीच में। सरस्वती जी, प्रोफेसर सुंदरलाल जी आ चुके हैं?
लाल सर के घर पे नेट की प्रॉब्लम है, वो ठीक कर रहे हैं, अभी आ जाएंगे वो थोड़ी देर में।
अच्छा ठीक है, मैं तो स्टार्ट कर दूं जब तक।
हाँ, अभी ऑफलाइन है वो।
ठीक है, मैं फिर स्टार्ट कर रहा हूँ। बीसी सर, शैल वी स्टार्ट?
Please start. Please start.
Sure, thank you very much sir, thank you very much. Good morning everyone. You are familiar that today we are going to organize a webinar on the topic mathematical analysis of COVID-19. Well friends, as you are familiar that our respected Vice Chancellor Professor Ashok Mittal is with us. We are having Dean Research Professor Ajay Taneja. We are having Head of the Mathematics Department Professor Sanjay Chaudhary. We are having IIT Director Professor B.K. Saraswat. We are having with us our teacher and ex-Vice Chancellor of Purvanchal University, Jaunpur, Professor Sundarlal sir. We are having with us Professor Vijay Veer Singh, he is from Nigeria. We are having with us Professor Jomar Ravajante from Philippines. And we are also having with us Professor Gaji Khammas from Palestine and Professor Deepak Kumar from Manav Rachna International University, Faridabad. First of all, I welcome all the respected persons, all the respected speakers, and our Honorable Vice Chancellor who joined this seminar, and just we over here to bless us. Well, as we are a little bit late, so I'm just not going to make any detailed formality over here. I just welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor and welcome all the committee members and all the speakers and all the audience who are going to join us this webinar on the topic mathematical analysis of COVID-19. Well, friends, as you have, everyone is familiar that mathematics is playing a very vital key role to the real world problems. Several mathematical models are successful working and still researchers are working on it. Some of us might have been happy to leave mathematics behind in high school, colleges or university. But as the COVID-19 pandemic has spread, mathematics has had a daily effect on our lives. Diseases has affected human ever since there have been humans. Malaria, tuberculosis are thought to have the revenge. Ancient Egypt, more than 5,000 years ago, from AD 500 to 540 something, the global pandemic known as the plague is estimated to have killed 15 to 20% of the world population. Following the Spanish consequent of Mexico, the population dropped from around 30 million in 1519 to just 3 million 50 years later. Today, we are battling to control the spread of COVID-19, which has been potential to cause the most deadly pandemic in human history. There is, however, a little known but highly successful field of science working in the background to unpick the mysteries of infectious disease. As everybody is familiar about it, that several mathematicians, or we can say mathematical epidemiologists, are working to find out some solutions or to analyze the data for the situation of this infectious disease such as COVID-19. With basic mathematicals, now a question arises why we go for the mathematics. With basic mathematical models, researchers can begin to forecast the progression of diseases and understand the effect of intravenous on diseases spread. With more complex models, we can start to answer questions about how to efficiently allocate limited resources or tease out the consequences of public health interventions like closing pubs or banning gatherings also. Insight from mathematical models are vital to ensure that authorities can prevent as many deaths as possible. As the COVID-19 pandemic escalates, we can think about several models which are still working and successfully has worked in such a situation. And if we just take one example for such a situation, then a very well-known mathematical model which is available, which has been designed by some mathematicians, the model is known as SIR model. SIR model means that successive model, infective model, and the removal. Means we are considering the three parts of such any of the spreading diseases: susceptible, infective, and the removed. So there are several mathematicians who are working on SIR model. Normally they start with the SIS model, then after an advanced level they go for the SIR model. And as far as this SIR model is concerned, this is referred to as the SIR model. From dengue fever in Latin America to swine fever in Netherlands and norovirus in Belgium, the SIR model can prove vital lesson for how to prevent the diseases spreading over there. As far as if we just think of population that is completely susceptible to a particular diseases, much like the global population in December 2019 at the start of COVID-19 outbreak, the average number of previous unexposed individual infected by a single freshly introduced disease carrier is known as the basic reproduction number and often denoted as R. Is here they are going to consider as like that. So as far as the next generation who are going to attend this webinar and who are interested to work or who are working in this direction, we can think about such a model. In reality, the simple SIR model is not a complex enough to capture the susceptible to of many infectious disease outbreaks. But for diseases which confer no immunity on their victims, a simple adoption of SIR model can help in this direction. So this such a situation on which we can work over here, and even then there are several rooms available. If a mathematician, a statistician, computer science, I mean to say the mathematical science people, if they are interested to work in SIR model, they can work in that direction. As far as the today's speakers are concerned, we are having 3 speakers over here. Mainly we are having the 4 speakers. First one speaker is Professor Jomar Ravajante. Professor Jomar Ravajante is a professor in University of the Philippines, Los Baños, and he holds the position of Junior Associate at the Abdus Salam International Center for Theoretical Physics in Tres Stately. He is also the chair of the Diploma in Mathematical Teaching Programs at the Faculty of Education. Professor Ravajante is one of the ASEAN Science Diplomat also. Professor Ravajante obtained his Doctor of Science in Mathematical and the System Engineering from Shizuoka University, Japan, as a Japanese government scholar. He did his MSc in Applied Mathematics and from the University of the Philippines, and he did his BSc also from University of Philippines, Los Baños. He is a visiting professor at the Biological Department of Carleton University in Canada, visiting researcher at the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Biology in Germany, and visiting scientist at the Field Institute for Research in Mathematical Science in Canada. He is no doubt an outstanding researcher in the field of mathematical biology in which they are working. He also attended the Research School on Mathematical Epidemiology at Imperial College London on the System Biology and Ohio State University. He is having a very good number of publications in the field of mathematical biology. So I welcome Professor Jomar in this meeting. Thank you, Professor Jomar, to be with us.
Yes,
thank you very much. Our second speaker is Dr. Gaji Semthambas. He is a professor of applied mathematics, Al-Aqsa University, Gaza Strip, Palestine. And the interesting factor is Professor Gaza is that he did his PhD in applied mathematics from Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh. That's a very good thing over there, that he did his PhD from Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh. He did his MSc from Punjab University, Lahore, Pakistan, and he did his BSc from Libya. He is working as a full-time professor over there, and before that, he has also worked in Libya from 1987 to 2000, means 13 years he has worked over there. He is a reviewer for the different research journal. He is the member of the preparation committee for the science conferences at the Gaza Strip. He is the internal and external examiner of researcher master degree of Alaska University, Gaza, and Al Azhar University, Gaza Strip, Palestine. And I'm lucky that I met a fellow in the Gaza Strip when I visited the Gaza Strip in 2007. He has delivered several invited talks, and he has a very good number of publications, around more than 30 publications of international repute he is having. Our third speaker, I welcome Professor Gaja in this meeting. Thank you very much, Gaji, to be with us. Our next speaker is Professor Bijay Singh. Professor Bijay Singh, he received his MSc from NRSC Khurja, Bulandshahr, and he did his MPhil and PhD from Chaudhry Charan Singh University, Meerut. After completing his research program, he joined the UP Technical University from 2001 to 2013 as assistant professor, associate, and the professor till 2013. After 2013, he joined the Yobe State University, Nigeria, as a professor in health department, and he worked over there September 2013 to December 2015. And after that, he joined the next university, which is known as the Yusuf Mahatma Sule University, Kano, Nigeria, in 2016. And till that date, he is working as a professor and head of the department over there. Professor Singh has research field in operation research, specialized in reliability theory, and he has supervised several PhD students, more than 50 students for BSc and MSc in reliability and applied mathematics. Dr. Singh has a very good contribution to the research, not only in the India, in Nigeria, also in the entire part of the world. He is having a more than 60 research papers published to his credit, and he is the editorial member of several Indian journals and the international journals. He is the reviewer of the several journals of the Springer, Elsevier, InterScience, etc., etc. I welcome Professor Bijay Singh to this webinar. Welcome, Professor Bijay Singh, and thank you to be with us. Our next speaker is Professor Deepak Kumar. He is MSc from Jamia Millia University, New Delhi, and then after he completed his PhD from Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar University, Agra, and then after he joined the Manav Rachna International University over there, and now he is working over there as a professor and head department of mathematics, Manav Rachna International University, Faridabad. He is having more than 40 publications to his credit in an international journal of very good reputes. He has been supervised around 7 PhD theses. And another thing is that when he did complete his PhD, the entire thesis has been published by a publisher, Nova Science Publications, USA. So I also welcome Professor Deepak Kumar to this webinar, and thank you, Professor Deepak Kumar, to be with us. Well, friends, now I am just going to switch over. I just like to call our Dean Research and the Member Secretary IQAC, Professor Taneja. He is with us. I request Professor Taneja to say a few words. Professor Taneja.
Thank you, Professor Sanjeev Kumar, for inviting me to this webinar on mathematical analysis of COVID-19. Though I am not a mathematician, but I am science student. So my views on COVID-19 situation and the mathematical analysis of it is, we already know that COVID-19, apart becoming the greatest threat to global public health of the century, is being considered as an indicator on inequity and deficiency of social advancement. We are aware that the name COVID-19, where the CO stands for corona, VI stands for virus, and D for disease, and 19 represents the year of its occurrence. It is the single stranded RNA virus with a diameter which ranges from 80 to 120 nanometer. First reported in December 2019 in Wuhan, in the Hubei province, which is an industrial province of China. The disease has eventually affected every continent except Antarctica. About 215 countries are affected with more than 6 million confirmed cases and about 0.4 million deaths as on date. You'll be surprised to know the COVID-19 pandemic is now a ubiquitous topic in global online conversations. And COVID ranks as the second most word used in all public English language, social media, published in the past 30 days. This term received 55 million public mentions and was only surpassed by the word people with 57 million mentions. The task of reaching the global audience with trustworthy and timely information is challenging in this tsunami of information. The COVID-19 information ecosystem is sensitive to a new conversation inputs, such as new stories, influential statements, or new people's behavior and emotions. And it has affected science too. So being a science student, I tried to do some mathematical analysis on the science of this pandemic, because I firmly believe that mathematics is not about numbers, equation, computations, or algorithms. It is also about understanding. If I see the data of Scopus, I could find that about 2,500 documents on coronavirus have been published in the last 5 months. And this publication has been the most from the University of Hong Kong, which published about 400 articles, followed by Utrecht University, Netherlands, Chinese Academy of Sciences with 300 papers each, followed by National Institute of Health, Maryland, US with 250 publications. The most journal which published research on coronavirus was Journal of Virology, which published about 1,100 papers, followed by Advances in Experimental Medicine and Biology, published by British Medicine Society. There was ample of research funding done by different governments to find out the vaccination, to find out the different types of medicines to cure this virus. The maximum grant was given to 2 Hong Kong academic medical centers who received about 11.5 million pounds, which amounts to about 108 crores for 26 COVID-19 clinical research studies. The best, or you can say the most cited paper on coronavirus was published in Lancet, which is a high impact journal, and it was entitled as Clinical Features of Patients Infected with 2019 Novel Virus in Wuhan, China. And the citation number is 1532 as till date. It's not only medical journals which are publishing coronavirus papers. There are interdisciplinary research areas also who published a lot of papers on coronavirus. To mention few, we had a paper which says that the coronavirus pandemic, how can a design help, in Research and Engineering Design Journal, which was one of the most highest cited paper. Then a paper also came entitled as Modeling the Economic Impact and Ripple Effects of Disease Outbreaks in Process Integration and Optimization for Sustainability. And to my surprise, both of these mathematical models in their research. There was another paper in IE Reviews in Biomedical Engineering, which says review of artificial intelligence techniques in imaging, data acquisition, segmentation, and diagnosis for COVID-19. I could also find some Indian studies like mapping of coronavirus transmission in India with a mathematical approach, which was quite highly cited. It was published in International Journal on Emerging Technologies by Vara Lakshmani, a scientist from Dr. Ambedkar Law University, Tamil Nadu. She proposed a mathematical model for mapping viral epidemics and framing strategies of global pandemics, even at local level. So, friends, it's very clear that mathematics is helping in finding out fighting the corona epidemic. And with these words, I give my best wishes to this webinar, to the speakers, and I hope all the delegates will be benefited by understanding the scientific knowledge and practices that contribute to COVID-19 mitigation by mathematical sciences. With these words, I thank you all.
Thank you, Professor Taneja, by providing a very good information for the COVID-19 pandemic situation. and also by providing a different data which normally was not available with me also. And further, by providing a very good information that several mathematical models, papers based on mathematical model have been published over here. Now I request our Professor Sundaral sir, ex-Vice Chancellor of the Bhuj Bahadur Singh Purvanchal University, Jaunpur, and ex-Pro-Vice Chancellor of Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar University, to just come online and bless us. Professor Sundaral
Professor
sir.
Kumar, he will not be joining. He is unable to connect.
Okay. So in that case, no problem. We will request our Honorable Vice Chancellor sir, because no problem. Whenever he is going to join, we will start from that position. So now I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor of this university, Professor Ashok Mittal sir. Professor Ashok Mittal sir, he is a renowned economist and he has been the professor and head at the Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh. And he is having a very vast experience, especially in economic models and the econometric models. And he is also a good administrator, as well as he is also a very good human being person. I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Ashok Mittal sir, to say a few words and bless us. Professor Ashok Mittal sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sanjeev Kumar. I am audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So thanks, Sanjeev Kumar. I'm very happy to see that Mathematics Department of Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar University is organizing this webinar on a very important issue, that is mathematical analysis of COVID-19. As a science graduate, I know the importance of mathematics. I feel that mathematics makes a man wise. Mathematics makes any researcher to think and crystallizing the problems. Mathematics helps to make concrete the various complexities. Mathematics has its own language. Whatever we are seeing the development in the IT sector, it is because of only the mathematics. So mathematics provide us a tool which is widely used in other branches of study. As a student of economics, I know that in economics we have a separate branch as mathematical economics. There we are using the linear programming, input-output analysis, game theory. All these things make our economic problems very easy, and we can solve the complexities of economic problems very easily. Likewise, now when we have this COVID, lot of data is being coming in. Every day there is a lot of data which is being compiled. How to examine this data, how to make certain important inference out of it, it's the part of the mathematics, because there is also a full branch of medical mathematics, and those people are working on it. What was the reason of the spread of this? What is the rate of growth of the spread? What is the rate of recovery? So all these things can be solved and can be found out by the mathematician, and the mathematicians are developing the model and to warn us for the future. If any such pandemic occurs in future, how we will take the necessary steps. For example, this virus pandemic is, at least our generation has seen for the first time. The earlier epidemics we were not able, because we were not born, so we have not seen. But in our lifetime, this is the first incidence. The whole world is suffering from this pandemic. And no doubt to say, we were not prepared for it. Neither our medical facilities, nor medical equipments, nor paramedical staff, we were not having sufficient in this, and therefore initially we suffered a lot. We had large number of casualties, etc. So therefore, now we can prescribe a model, or mathematician can suggest an optimum level of medical facilities which one country must have depending upon its population. Because having the PPE kits, having the testing kits, all these have shown that we were having insufficient resources. And there was, particularly if I talk to India, as an economist, I was repeatedly saying that the public expenditure on social services, particularly on education and health, is very, very less as compared to many other countries. Therefore, this is the time that our government should increase the public expenditure on health and simultaneously on education also. It is being proved by various studies. If we have a sound social sector, economic growth is going to be very, very high and the quality of life will improve. I'm sure in today's deliberations, the mathematicians will come out with some model or with some sort of a equation, some simulation exercises by which we can have a fair idea about this problem, and they can also suggest that what facilities we should have, what should be the optimum level of facilities we should have, so that if it recurs, then we can fight it in much better way. I'm very happy to see, and I must congratulate Sanjeev Kumar to arrange such a good panel. We have very good panel here, and I'm sure they will be delivering. And also, I give an open invitation to my foreign panelists, Professor Jomar and Professor Khamake, because Professor Khamake is from AMU. So I have some, you can say, relation with him. I can always ask for some help from him, being an Algerian. So I always extend my invitation to all the three external experts that whenever they visit India, please do come to Agra. Agra is internationally known place. It is known for Taj Mahal, and it's a tourist place. So come to Agra and be guest of our university. I would be very happy to host you, to welcome you, and we will roam around the Agra town and other nearby places. So please, I'm extending you my sincere invitation to visit Agra whenever this pandemic is over and when you want to have some leisure time. With these words, I once again thanks the organizer, particularly the Sanjeev Kumar, Ajay Taneja ji, Sanjay Chaudhary ji, and nonetheless that Professor Saraswat, who is giving us all the platforms all the time. He is personally present in all the webinars. I know how much burden he is having even then, but I am really grateful to you all for organizing such a webinar and taking the name of Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar University across the globe. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Professor Ashok Mittal, sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of this university. And I was feeling very lucky when you are providing several directions to work, especially for the students who are engaged with the research in mathematics. And you have given several ideas on which the mathematicians can work in this direction. No doubt, sir, your words has given a lot of new dimensions to the audience who have joined this webinar also over here. Another thing is that it was a very exciting moment for us because on a screen, on the upper part, the teacher of the EMU was there, and the lower part, the students, former students of the EMU was over there. So it was a good combination of Aligarh Muslim University with us. And I am really thankful, sir, that you has given the chance to all of three speakers, Professor Ghazi Khammas, Professor Jomar, and Professor Bijay Singh, that whenever they are going to visit India, they has to visit our university. Sir, we are very lucky that Professor Ghazi Khammas visited our department in December. And Professor Jomar was planned to visit our department in the month of February. And we have planned the 2 one-day lecture of Professor Jomar. But in the meanwhile, this pandemic situation has been started over there, and then after he has stopped. Even then, sir, he has booked his ticket and he has sent it the book ticket to me. And somehow the situation was not in our hand, and we were not in the position to have the blessings from these speakers. No doubt, sir, I am really very thankful to you. And now, Professor Saraswati,
Sundala sir has joined.
Voice आ रही है उनकी? Good morning, sir. Professor Sundaral, sir, can you hear me? No problem. कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, Saraswati, no problem. We are just going to bind up this inaugural session, and after this inaugural session, in the meanwhile, you can check the connectivity issue with Professor Sundaral, sir. And somehow, no problem. In the next part, Professor Sundaral, sir, can join it with us. And we are a little bit unfortunate that he couldn't join us in the inaugural session of it. So in the final stage, I would like to request our head of the department, Professor Sanjay Chaudhary, sir, to say both of things. Professor Sanjay Chaudhary ji.
अनम्यूट करिए अपने को, अनम्यूट कर लीजिए
सर, माइक को अनम्यूट करिए, माइक
नाउ इट्स ओके। ओके सर, बोलिए।
Okay, it's okay. So as we all are here for a mathematical webinar on topic mathematical analysis of COVID-19, and we all are suffering from COVID-19. I hope that mathematics will play a good role in getting the traces of this virus all over the world, and will provide a mathematical model where the medical team can understand the situation and go for its analysis. First of all, I'm thankful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Ambedkar, for blessing us in this webinar. I'm also thankful to my teacher, Professor Sundaral, whom we are not able to listen at present, but very soon we are going to listen in. And I'm also thankful to the four speakers, Professor Jomar, Professor Gaji, Professor Vijay, and Professor Deepak. I'm also thankful to the technical secretary and his team for providing all the technical support to this webinar. I'm also thankful to the director IQAC, Professor Ajit Taneja, for providing a very detailed analysis of data, how many papers are there, how the things are going on. And he's also searching the mathematical model of this pandemic, and giving us a very good information. I'm also thankful to all the participants, which are about 350 in numbers at present, and they are increasing time by time. Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Sanjay Chaudhary, sir. And once again, I'll say my warm wishes, my warm thankfulness from my heart to all the persons who have joined this event. Especially, we start from Professor Sundaral sir, Professor Jetaneja ji, Professor Sanjay Chaudhary ji, Professor Vijay Singh ji, Professor Gaji Kammas ji, Professor Jomar ji, Professor Deepak Kumar ji, and finally, Professor Ashok Mittal ji, our Honorable Vice Chancellor of this university. Now we are just going to start the technical session, and in this technical session, our first speaker is Professor Jomar Rabajante from University of the Philippines, Las Piñas. Professor Jomar Rabajante, are you ready?
Yes, I'm
Professor
ready.
Jomar, can you hear? You are ready. Okay, that's very good. That's very. So you can start your lecture, Professor Jomar.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'll share my screen.
Yes, sure. You can share your screen.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Hello?
Visible.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So before I continue, because I think you're not seeing me because I am having problems with my webcam. I think it's not compatible with GoToWebinar. So I'm here. So can you see myself from my screen? Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Hello. So I just showed my face, so you know that I'm here. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about this topic. Okay. So my topic is on how to move forward when epidemiological models on COVID-19 disagree. So the idea of my talk is that there are too many mathematical models out there. So, but even though there are too many mathematical models, and sometimes those models are do not agree to each other, then how can we move forward from these differences? Okay, so this is the main focus of my topic, and also later I'm going to show you some of the things that we are doing here in the Philippines. Okay, so before I continue, just for those people who have little background on mathematical modeling, what really is mathematical modeling? So let's say we have a real world problem, and usually this real world problem, we want to find solution, but usually finding the solution are often impractical, probably because it's too expensive, or it's really difficult to create a solution, or sometimes it is even impossible to have the solution. So what we usually do in mathematical modeling is we get a portion of that real world problem, and then definitely because of some of our assumptions, justified assumptions, through abstraction, we create mathematical representation of the problem. And this mathematical representation is what we call as mathematical modeling. And from there, we can have some analysis, and then from those analyses, if we have some solutions or we have some results, we interpret that based on the real world problem. Then to also find the robustness of our result, we do sensitivity analysis or even validation through experiments. So as you can see, from this diagram, it's very important to know that there's actually no mathematical model that could really model the whole world or the whole problem, because it's very difficult or even sometimes impossible. So what we do is just we get certain portions of the problem, and through assumptions we create the abstraction of that problem. And then to move forward from this mathematical modeling topic, I'm going to give you some idea on the different types of models. And of course, there are different classifications of models. It can be discrete, continuous, temporal, spatial, etc. But here what I'm going to discuss is more on how we deal with the problem. And because of this problem, because of how we approach the problem, we have these two kinds of models. The first one is what we call as the mechanistic. So just to give you an analogy, let's say there's a soccer player, and then this soccer player wants to know where is the trajectory of the ball. So probably there's a mathematician or statistician that will plot points, and then plotting the points, we do some curve fitting. So then we can now know, okay, from my forecast, the ball will land here. So this type of modeling is what we call phenomenological or black box. It's actually the opposite of mechanistic, in the sense that we don't know the mechanisms, what's happening. That's why it's called black box. We don't know what's inside the box. We don't know the mechanisms. We just put a curve fit there, let's say a parabola. So the second model, as I've told you, it's more on the mechanistic one. Without doing the curve fitting, we get the different mechanisms, let's say the force, the gravity, etc. Then from there we can compute the trajectory of the ball. And from the term mechanistic, also this model is called the mechanistic model, or the white or transparent box, because we know what's inside the box, we know the mechanisms. Okay, but between these two type of models, what is the best one? Actually, there's no best model. It really depends on how you approach the model, how you approach the problem, and how you approach finding the solution. And actually, you can combine those two. Okay, and this combination of these two is called as the hybrid or the gray box. Okay, so and we usually in COVID-19, what we use is the hybrid one. The SEIR, the compartment model, is actually a mechanistic model, but finding the parameters, finding the different values of the initial conditions is actually a phenomenological model. So you need to combine those two. So here, this is a very simple model that I'm showing you of the SEIR. And actually, this is one of the early models that we used here in the Philippines to estimate the number of ICUs, the number of mechanical ventilators, the number of hospital beds that we need. So, but here, it's not just a simple SEIR in the sense that in the sense that we have different compartments inside the infectious class. So the susceptible class here, when infected, will become exposed. But during this exposure, if there will be some control, such as protection, washing of hands, they can go back to being susceptible. And then if after some latency period, this exposed class will move to the infectious class, and this infectious class can be divided actually into many compartments, but for simplicity, we divided it into two. The first one is the asymptomatic and the mild conditions, and the other one is the symptomatic and not just symptomatic. These are the severe and critical cases. But the asymptomatic and the mild can be detected and isolated. So this is the AS, the isolated, asymptomatic, and mild. And if we also isolate the IS, the I here, that will be the IS. And the importance of isolation is that if we isolate people here, the transmission from this infectious class to the susceptible will be inhibited. And also we can also, of course, inhibit that using physical distancing. So through this compartment model, we can have some simulations, and I can have this kind of simulations. And I'm going to show you a sample. We actually code this in Python, but for visualization purposes in this talk, I'm going to show you a sample one. So this is one of the things that can run the SEIR simulation. And what I'm going to show you is a code that is fitted with Philippine situation. And let's say I want to see the effect of contact tracing, in the sense that if I detect a person immediately, let's say in 1 day or 2 days, in 3 days, 4 days, and 5 days, what would happen? But definitely from obviously, if we detect a person 5 days after being exposed, then that will be not so good, because that person already infected a lot of people within the 5 days. So as we can see here, just to show you, I move the day here. So let's say if I detect people in 1 day, this will be the graph. But if I detect people in 2 days on the average, that will be the graph. There is some increase there. Okay. If I detect people in 3 days, that will be the increase in the number of infecteds. And 4 days, there will be a large jump. Okay. And 5 days and 6 days. So as you can see, the effect of contact tracing and the effect of immediate detection of people is very important to inhibit the further transmission of COVID-19. Okay, then also we have this kind of model which is more complicated, because now we include the different age And the effect of this age distribution is that we want to know the effect of opening schools, the effect of opening different industries, and also the effect of the age distribution to the number of deaths. Because we know from the data in the Philippines, uh, the number of deaths is correlated to the uh, occurrence of pre-existing illnesses or comorbidities like hypertension, diabetes. And it just so happened also that these comorbidities is also correlated with age. So that's why. And also we also have some agent-based simulation um, on uh, on the transportation inside a train and inside buses. What is the somehow nearly safe number of people and the level of density inside transportation, so that we can have uh, an acceptable level of safety and security against COVID-19. And I'm going to show you this one exactly. We also have the job risk calculator. So in the Philippines, before I continue, the good thing with the Philippines is that I think the media and even the government understand the importance of mathematics. And I've been interviewed many times in television. This one is by CNN Philippines to explain the mathematics behind the COVID-19. So the good thing is people now know the importance of mathematics in the Philippines as compared before. And to show you, we have actually um, we have actually set up many websites for the different provinces and regions in the Philippines. So here we estimate the different levels of outbreak threshold for the different parts of the Philippines, and the infection risk, fatality risk, and the different estimates like this. And we did that for all the regions here. Let's say from where I am living in region 4A, we have these estimates for our place. Okay, sorry. And yeah, we also have different simulations here just to show the different possibilities. And that's one. And the other one is definitely in modeling, it's not just important to do the model, but also to understand the data itself. So we are tracking every day, almost every day, the situation in the Philippines. So we, in my group, the UPLB Biomathematics Initiative, set up um, a tracker, a dashboard, so we can know how many new cases per day. So currently, there are still many cases in the Philippines, and this is the cumulative counts in lag scale. Currently, we are already around 16,000 infected as of today. Then, how many asymptomatic, mild case, recovered, severe, and expired cases? We are tracking that. Currently, the case fatality ratio in the Philippines is around 5.9. So we have this tracker, and we even also have a tracker on the delays, because uh, in the Philippines, the problem is we were very surprised of what happened, and because of this okay, I think the internet is very slow. Anyway, what happened is, yeah, so this is the delay. So let's say in the Philippines, we are having delays in reporting because we were quite surprised of what happened. And because of this, the different provinces have difficulty in sending the reports to the national government. So we have sometimes a certain death will be reported only after 30 days or 40 days. And we also track that. And we also track here the healthcare capacity, how many ICUs are already being used, and the testing, how many tests are being done per day, etc. So I'm not going to open anymore this link because I think my internet is getting slower. Yeah, and this is the testing. So currently the number of tests being done in the Philippines is 4 per day. Yep, daily output. So currently we are around uh, 8,000 per day test, but we want to increase it more to 30 days, 30,000 tests per day in 30 days, and up to 50,000 per day in 2 months. Okay, and another one, we also did this job risk calculator in the sense that we want people to know the risk of their occupation with respect to the risk in exposure of COVID-19. So let's say I want to know the my risk. Let's say I am an accountant, and you can also type here. Okay, you can type here. But let's say you are an accountant. So it says here an accountant has a very low risk of getting the disease because a person has a very low interaction with other people. And we also have an open calculator. If your job is not listed in that calculator, actually the first one is composed of almost 1,000 jobs. But if your job is not there, you can still compute. Let's say the number of encounters per hour. Let's say I encountered 10 people per hour. Work shift duration. Let's say I work 8 hours a day. And then in my place, there's some level of crowd density. Around 30% of the place is crowded, and I have very little protection. Let's say 10%. Then I'm going to say here that I have a high risk. It's actually in the boundary. So we have this calculator that we develop, and we also have a company outbreak threshold, and actually it's in Microsoft Excel. Sorry, here. So it's a workplace outbreak threshold and transmission microsimulation, and the people can input how many employees they have, how many floors, how many interactions, and from there we would have some idea of, let's say, if the transmission of COVID-19 is not contained, this is the dynamics, what would happen inside the company, and this is the outbreak threshold. So what I'm saying here is my my co- my group is continuously tracking what's going on in the Philippines, and we have done several models. But of course, there's still problem with this one. The problem is it's still not enough. I mean, we need to help more by giving our expertise to the government, because everyone was surprised because of this pandemic, and this is the first time that we had this kind of situation in the Philippines. So, um, but going back to my topic, whatever that we do, everything will boil down to this statement: all models are wrong. Why? Because models are based on simplifying assumptions. It cannot really model the whole situation, and models have prediction errors, and the model is subject to the data that we have. But we know all models are wrong, but we know that some are useful, and we want our models, even we know there are some limitations, we want our models to be useful to the government, useful to the private companies, useful in our academic situations. Okay, so we want it to be useful in decision making, we want it to be useful in different stakeholders. And the important thing with this modeling exercises is that we always think of ethics in modeling. Sometimes this is the one being forgotten. We just do modeling, but we forget what's in it. Okay, and there are different framework with respect to modeling ethics. And actually, this is a talk that we did in March, where all of the data scientists and modelers in the Philippines gathered to discuss what is responsible modeling during pandemics. Okay, so we set here the discussions, and we set how we can peer review each other's work. So one of the things that uh, one of the things that we have discussed here is the making the data open and making science open. All of our models will be online. Everyone can critique the details of the parameters, the details of the model, so that we know the limitations of the model. Especially that sometimes if you in this time of pandemics, immediate results are important. We cannot submit our paper for a journal and wait for 60 days just to get, you know, um, uh, peer reviewed. It's not practical. So what we can do is, while during this we are in this pandemic, everyone in the Philippines, the community of modelers and data scientists, can critique each other, and that can only be done using open data and open science. And these are the different, just a quick run through of the framework of ethics. First, it should be independent in the sense that we need to declare all conflicts of interest, because we know models are based on models are, if we think models is mathematical, but actually it's not just mathematical. Models are very personal, because models are based on the experience, on the expertise of a person. So if a certain parent has conflict of interest, then he or she should declare that. Okay. And then another one, transparency, and I have discussed this. Are the model assumptions, methods open to all to replicate? Can we replicate the model results? And this is very important aspect. The next one is beneficence and the non-maleficence. This is in the sense that are our models beneficial, or are our models harmful? So we need to balance this. Okay, what is the cost? What is the impact? If our model makes harm to people, then probably it's not a good model, because the uncertainties in your model is harming people. And the last one, I think, in this framework is justice, in the sense that modelers should communicate the ethical issues to many people, especially if your model will impact the lives of many citizens in the country. Then you should communicate everything: the benefits, the uncertainties, and the robustness of your model, because this will give justice to those people who will be influenced by your model. Okay, and another one is, we need to always think that science is not just showing conclusions. Actually, science is beyond showing conclusions. Science is anchored in continuous validation. If you have a certain conclusion, you need to validate that, test that continuously. And actually, that's the essence of the black swan phenomenon. Okay, in the sense that if we find a white swan in a lake and another white swan, and we find 1,000 white swans, we cannot immediately generalize all swans are white, because there could be a black swan there. And actually, that is science. We need to test and test and test. And a scientifically mature community knows what science is. And this is actually what we are calling for, because in this time of pandemic, there are many people, scientists, mathematicians, who would have different results. And sometimes their results are also conflicting with each other. And actually, that's actually part of science, because in science, we need to test each other's model, we need to test its assumptions, and definitely, because we have different assumptions, we have sometimes different results. But the thing here is, we should not just stop there. What we need to do is to move forward by testing and validating these models. And this will come to the with this slide. There are many model disagreements, not just in COVID-19, also in economics, in climate science, and of course in COVID-19. There are many models that disagree with each other. And even in the UK, there are talks about the paper of one paper in Oxford saying that many British are already infected, but some modelers somehow disagree. And also in the Philippines, we have these disagreements between data scientists and modelers. So there are model disagreements. But the thing here is that we should know where is the source of this agreement. There could be different assumptions, different modeling frameworks, different sources of input data, different definitions, different interpretations. And like this picture, from the Little Prince, we can look at this curve here in many ways. That this could be a snake, this could be a hat, or from a different perspective, this could be a snake who have eaten an elephant. So there could be different perspectives. Okay, um, I'll skip this. Okay, so in mathematics, there are ways to combine conflicting results. So here, one way is to do ensemble modeling. This is one example from the US where they combine different models from Imperial College, from MIT, to see where the models intersect and where the models differ from each other. And this is very important because we could have different perspectives. One perspective cannot be just given by one. All of the perspective cannot just be given by one group. We need different people to look at this. Okay, and on model disagreement, this is the good thing. Forecasts like these are useful because they help us understand the most likely outcomes as well as best and worst case possibilities. And this is very important. We need to know the best and worst case possibilities so that we can help policymakers in having robust decisions and robust policies. And understanding the differences among these models can give us valuable insight. You cannot just put our mind in just one model. We need to have many models. Okay. Yep. This is open science, open data. I'm going to skip this. Okay. I'm going to skip this because this is very specific to the Philippines, and probably this is some of my last slides to share to you how to move forward when epidemiological models on COVID-19 disagree. First is we need to learn from various models. We cannot just focus on one model. Second, we need to always remember the ethical considerations in modeling. The third is we need to assess the assumptions, errors, and limitations of the models. And I cannot emphasize this more because I think everyone already know that models are based on assumptions, and these assumptions are simplification of the real world system. And because this is a simplification, this has errors, this has limitations. And as scientists, we should not just anchor our conclusion in just one conclusion. We need to continuously validate the results and have sensitivity and scenario analysis. How robust is a model? If I change a parameter by just a small value, would that impact my result significantly? If that would be if the result will change differently, then probably my model is not that robust. So we need to check the robustness of our results. We need to advocate open science, open data, scientific collaboration, and peer review, especially in these times of pandemic. Results are needed immediately, but it doesn't mean we need to let people just give results without peer review. Science is anchored in peer review, but peer review here doesn't mean we need to submit our results in a journal. We can do that later, but what I'm saying here is even inside your community, you should have discussions among your community of modelers, community of mathematicians. In an epidemic, decisions should be based not only on one single metric, consider the complex factors and storyline of the outbreak. Okay. And the last one is communicate well the model and the results. I'm going to focus more on some of the statements that I want to share to you. First, this is one of the things that I always tell the public. Mathematical modelers are not fortune tellers. Again, actually, what we forecast, especially the worst case prediction, we don't want them to happen. Worst case scenario models are not intended to cause panic, but they are formulated to help in planning and creation of strategies. Next is models can be used as intelligent input in decision making, but it is very important. Users of the model results should always check if the assumptions used fit the system or situation. You cannot use models immediately without looking at the assumptions. Let's say, I cannot, well, sometimes SIR is useful for COVID, but sometimes if you're going to make it granular and detailed, SIR is not enough because you have latency period. So you need SAIR. But SAIR in itself is also not good because the basic assumption of SAIR is homogeneous mixing. Our society is not homogeneous. How can you include their heterogeneity? So you can have some tweak in the models to include heterogeneity like population density, mobility, etc. Or you can make it more granular by using agent-based modeling, okay, and make it spatial. So you need to really know the assumptions. You cannot just use a model immediately. You need to ask, what is the problem? Can my problem be answered by this model without looking at the details? Okay, so you need to have this. And the models and model results should be interpreted, especially in this time of pandemic, with guidance from experts. Sometimes people just immediately get results and apply it in a community. But we should always consult experts because sometimes it's dangerous to just get policies without really looking at the details. Okay, and accountability is one of the key ingredients in modeling. In the sense that if I am a modeler and my model predicts this and this prediction will impact people, then I am accountable. Okay, so we should be accountable in all what that we do. And modelers, also this is the implication of that. As modelers, we should not be alone. Collaboration among different fields, epidemiologists, public health, computer scientists, statisticians, social scientists, risk communicators, etc. should be involved because COVID-19 is not just an epidemiological, COVID-19 is not just a mathematical problem. It is epidemiological. It is not just epidemiological, it's also economic. And it's not just economic, it's also social. So there are many areas involved in this one. And we should humanize our models because models have implications in real life, okay, especially if the government is relying on your predictions. And I think the last one is models can be used for preparation during the time of execution, okay, in evaluation and in formulating strategies for recovery. So I hope we can win this fight against COVID-19, and I hope mathematics can be useful for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Jomar, for giving a very, very nice presentation on COVID-19 situation. And I am really feeling very happy that you really made a good presentation, which is 100% relevant to the topic which we have decided for this webinar. Here, I would like to mention the two things, Professor Jomar and all the audience. I remember one quote by the Albert Einstein. He stated that so far as the law of mathematics refer to the reality, they are not certain. And if they are certain, they do not refer to the reality. So your presentation is really very good because it is going to reflect all the statement which has been given by Albert Einstein. Another thing which I have to mention over here that you specifically mentioned few lines, and normally we also discuss with our students that suppose you are having a real world problem and you give this real world problems to the 50 students of a class, you will find that you will have the 50 different models over there because everything is going to be depend upon the assumption of the modeler which he is going to consider in his mind during the building process of that mathematical model. No doubt you have given a very good presentation to the audience over there. I am really, really thankful, Professor Jomar. And now I would like to, Professor Sundaral sir is with us. So I would like to ask Professor Sundaral sir to say a few words to the audience and our speaker. And after that, next speaker is Professor Gaji Kammas. Professor Sundaral sir, please sir. वॉइस सर वॉइस अभी नहीं आई वॉइस नहीं आई आपकी सर
सर माइक्रोफोन ऑन करना पड़ेगा
सर माइक्रोफोन मैं सर आपका माइक्रोफोन ऑन है आप बोलिए सर थोड़ा माइक्रोफोन के पास जाकर के बोलना हाँ सर, आप बोलना जरा, सर आप बोलिए। वॉइस अभी भी क्लियर नहीं है। सर, हेलो सर, आप एक काम कर दीजिए, आप ना सर, आप व्हाट्सएप पर मेरे को व्हाट्सएप पर क्लिक करके अपनी सारी वॉइस भेज दीजिए, मैं वो वॉइस यहाँ पर करा दूंगा कास्ट। प्रोफेसर सारस्वत जी, देखिए अगर वॉइस ठीक हो जाए तो, नहीं तो हम प्रोफेसर गाजी को बुला लेते हैं जब तक नमीन भाई।
हाँ, आप गाजी सर को बुलाइए, सर के तरफ से ही कुछ प्रॉब्लम है।
कोई बात नहीं है। So our next speaker is Professor Ghazi Khammas from Alaska University, Gaza Strip, Palestine. He is a very eminent scholar as well as a very young and dynamic scholar, and especially who belongs to a very typical area which is known as the Gaza Strip. Everybody is familiar about the Gaza Strip and the situation in the Gaza Strip over there. And still he is working a lot in Alaska University and Al-Azhar University. And so I would like to request Professor Ghazi Khammas to deliver his lecture. Professor Ghazi Khammas. Professor Ghazi Khammas, you just keep your microphone nearer to your mouth.
कब सब आएगी उनके बाद?
Yeah.
Yes. Now it is.
Hello. It's okay.
Yeah, now it is okay. Now it's okay. Yes, that's very good. Fine.
Now it's okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you. You can
yes,
start, please.
Okay. Thank you. Actually, this is I can suppose that it will be the third time that to visit India, twice through to reach India itself, and now this is the third time for me. Okay, most welcome for all, and I would like to thank all of you, and thank you, Dr. Prof. Sanjeev Kumar, you give me this chance, and really I am happy to give this lecture. Almost my PhD from India, from AMU. So I am a student in the Indian universities. Anyhow, I would like to speak about this lecture and mathematics with COVID-19, but I don't know if it is can be see my report. How I can show you my share my service.
Professor Saraswati, please guide Professor Ghazi Khammas so that he can screen share.
Okay. Sir, visible.
Perfect.
Okay.
It's okay, Professor Ghazi, we are able to see your slides.
Okay, but this one is closed now at the moment. No. This is the problem that I have. It is not full screen. Okay. Anyhow,
Professor Ghazi, you can start. Everything is okay. Everything is okay. Perfectly okay. You can start.
Everything is okay. Okay, but I have. Yes. Okay, now we are talking about the mathematics and the corona crisis. Actually, let me say that my field is mathematics. So we are so far from the biology and for the medical specialist, but somehow we have to see if the mathematician have word to see about these cases or this is crisis. Now let's start with some examples. Our examples, it is go directly to the student just to learn something. What I mean, to learn something about their topics. They are studying mathematics, they don't know how to can they manage the thing. Let us start with very easier example, that if the rate of increases the infection at 20%, using the following geometric sequence. If we use the geometric sequence, this one, I think UN 1 plus 20, because here we have right 20%, and we mentioned the days, one day, 10 days, 20 days, 30 days, up to 19 days. We will see that the infected will be increased according to this geometric sequence. Again, we have to see that if this increase cannot be controlled by the governments or by the capacity of hospitals in some countries, so this means that we have really problem. And this problem, that's why we say that stay at home. So let's suppose we see that in Italy or France, this is during to the 1 month or 2 months for February and March, how it is increase these relations. And we start from 1, then after 20, then 21, how much it start to be the situation. All of us, we heard that what happened in the Italy, what France and Spain and even the USA at the last. Now this is going, if you will look for these figures we have here in this models, see how it's be looking like expansion. Here it start slowly, but after that then it will go fast. Now according to the hospital capacity, we will see that if this is level of the hospital's capacity, if you will grow more than the situation, it will be very tough and it will be difficult, and even it will be not under control. So most of the countries try to be in this position, mean that all the cases can be controlled, can be the infected people, the hospitalities of any country have a good capacity for that. So this the situation, it will be good in this case. We would like to simplify one mathematical models used in these conditions. We will use, of course, I have collect this information from other works just to show this work. First, if we are going to the linear growth, if we are speaking about, and if the crisis is going through the linear growth, we will see this situation like that. It will be as in the mathematics. So we have here this relation in delta nt delta t, where it is explained. Later I will try to collect all this together to explain by somehow different way. Now this, if the situation is going like that, so it will be, and we can say it will be good, because it is not increase fastly like the exponential function. Because if it will go like that, which is use the exponential, then the situation fastly we have infected very large number. But by this way, it will be a little bit good, better than this. What we mean exactly. Exponential growth, if we are talking about exponential growth, some teacher use these relations as the in the mathematics by to do this figure, and this will be integrate, mean from b dash t k b t. If we use the integration, then we will get this relation, and this is called the exponential growth. Here some examples that if x is 2 raised to the power x, how it will be, and if x q, than if we have a straight line, just like red color. It's go. You see here how it is go. Exponential is go fast, but the linear it will go a little bit in the same line. Now, the main problem that coronavirus separated than exponential form, but this is not true actually. And we look at the model. I agree with the professor just before me. He told that this model sometimes it is not completely right. It will not give exactly answers for dead people, for infected people. Usually because we don't have full number account, full infected number. I mean, we don't know the truth. If it is this the case, so almost the result will not be go to the right way. But we now the growth virus is not possible, and that growth cannot continue indefinitely. Now, mean that the viruses cannot go to up to infinity. Otherwise, all the people, all the earth world, that will be infected. So there is, by the nature of the virus, they will be indefinitely. So that's why confident growth is going by the, somehow we have limit here. You see that some limit. Yani the infected, okay, it will be an increased number, but somehow it will stop at some point, and this will be as the limit, as we have seen here by this situation. And thanks that it cannot go to up to infinity. Now, logistic growth, if we are speaking about the logistic growth, and this type of growth condition, as we know, they will cover the two previous types, mean the confident growth and the other logistic exponential growth, both of them. As we have seen here, the confident, it is going that for the exponential, we say that it's go to infinity, but for the confident, we mean that there is some limited. Somehow it will not go to the indefinitely at all. Logistic try to manage the both and the both two types, as we have discussed with this mathematical equations, and almost it gives something like S. We have seen that this situation is go to S here, the time, and this is the ft as the function we are talking about. We have to here just see some remark. This is for our students, if they are for us, that the growth of the COVID-19, if we suppose is going like that, and there is in fact inflection point, and this inflection point now, if it will go as exponential growth, so that this will be a big problem. And if it when we reach to this point, then if it is go down, so this will be decline, and the situation it will be okay. Now from this point, what will happen? That was sometimes some countries have some inflection, but it is called under control, and they are worried sometimes that if the next 2 weeks will be passed normally, then we are at least safely. So this is it's going like that. Now if we from this point try to make the coordinate, this coordinate, as we have seen, we have three type of the equations. If this growth is go linear growth like that, you see okay, it is an increase, but not like the situation of the exponential. See exponential, that yellow line is going to grow quickly and fast, and in this point that this will go to the decline, and this would mean that we at maximum point it is the inflection point. So this the good examples for our students, just to explain what's going on, why they are the governments worry, why they are say stay at home and this and that, because the situation of the different different cases we have. Some country, that's why some mathematical models cannot be under the control, cannot give a good result. Yani some countries in Middle East, the rate of the death is about seven. So this rate, they say that it is high in the world. Of course, if it is high, if really they know that, or they have account all these infected people, but if we don't have the real number for infected people, so maybe 7, it can be 1 or 2. So this situation. Anyhow, we found the World Health Organization, as here they have mentioned that the coronavirus death rate was about 3.4, and you see this is the health of organization, but in Middle East some country reach up to 7. So this means that there is no right number for the infection people, but indicated that there was a problem, and this means that we are agree with the professor from Philippines that he said it is almost speaking same point. Simple math cannot be related even to know the mortality rate when we don't have an exact number of people who have infected by the virus, and this is the main problem. There are likely to be many more infections around the world than we have determined, which means that the true death rate can be lower than what we saw and what is reported. So this is the main things which is being by health organization. Now there is many many research work around some this as example. I give this for example, and you can see example mathematics, and we can see this research work. I don't know if you can open directly or this cat can be allowed. So this is, you have seen here in Beneficence, but if you read here for this article is preprint and has not been peer reviewed. What does this mean? We know what it means as mathematician in this case. Here, this is the abstract, and he have write good research. If we can see the PDF of that. Okay. This is the paper here for this. I need to make it full screen. No. But then this is let's go. Okay. Anyhow, it is difficult for at least at the moment to give that. But this is the paper. It is show all the situation, and he has used SIR model. Okay, who's interesting to this, he can see this paper. It is good paper, and still it is has not been reviewed, but anyhow it will give how the situation is going on, how the mathematician they are working hard to in this way, and this good paper for who is interested in this field. I hope that this is what I want to say in my project. My dear Prof. Sanjeev Kumar, and hope I have explained something, and thanks for you and for all, and we pray for the world. I will be safely, inshallah. Thank you, and most welcome.
Thank you very much, Professor Ghazi, that you strictly follow the guidelines which I have given to you. I request you to sum up within 20 minutes because we are very much late somehow in the inaugural session. So I am really thankful that you wind up your lecture in 25 minutes.
It is in the proper time. It's good time, and in the
Yeah.
time, and
So
hope that it's going well.
So thank you very much, Professor Gaji, and
No,
by
I would
giving a
like to
nice.
thank you, and thank your university, and thank all the staff, and also thank to Prof. Sanjay. We meet last time before, I think 1 month or 2 months.
Yeah, it's 2 months, around 2 months back, before Corona.
Pretty, yes, before just one step before, because after that there's no airports had been closed, no everything now under instruction. So I was lucky that I became in the time.
In that case, you are lucky that you reached your home safely.
Anyway, Professor Gaji, I would like to welcome you again in India.
Sure, inshallah. I like India, I like the people there. They are very nice people. And my teacher from there, my supervisor, the Professor Mumtaz Ahmad Khan, and I have like Mursalin Saab and Mr. Batan, and I know all of them. And also R.K. Rania, I don't forget him, the Professor R.K. Rania. When I was a student, I asked him to give me some papers, some books, and he never hesitated. I also want to thank all my friends, and P. Agarwal from Rajasthan, I think so, University.
Rajasthan. Yeah, Rajasthan.
Yes. Thank you, sir. I know time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor Gaji, for having a nice lecture to all the participants. Thank you very much. And our next speaker is Professor Bijay Singh from Nigeria, Kano State. And if Professor Bijay Singh is online, I again request Professor Bijay Singh to sum up your lecture in 20 to 25 minutes, because we are having one more speaker, and we are also waiting the blessings of Professor Sundaral sir over here. So Professor Bijay Singh, he is a professor in YSF University, Kano State, Nigeria. And I just like to call Professor Bijay Singh to give your presentation. Professor Bijay Singh.
Yeah. Hello. Yes. Good morning, everybody. And Professor Sanjeev Marji and Vice Chancellor Professor Taneja ji and Professor Gaji, one professor from Philippines, and other dignitaries. So I think my voice is coming there. Hello.
Your voice is coming. Voice is okay. Voice is okay. No
voice
problem.
coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So many people talk about this coronavirus, and really we agree this is a very serious situation in entire world, and everybody is suffering by this coronavirus, and people are in home quarantine, business are closed, almost closed, and we are also facing problem because we are in Nigeria, we cannot go to India, so everybody is facing problem, entire world is facing problem. So Professor, I just I wanted to bring this one.
You can share your screen, because now you are presenter, so you are having the right to share your screen.
Yes, but I'm not, I did not see this one. Yes. No, okay. Screenshot. Yeah. Let me show the.
Click on show screen.
Okay. Yes, I'm showing this. Webcam. Hello. Yeah. So actually, people are taking the coronavirus. Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, we can.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
So many people talk about this coronavirus and this pandemic disease, and Professor Kumar, one professor from Philippines, and Professor Taneja, they talk much about this coronavirus and this controlling and these mathematical models. So because people are taking this one in a negative aspect, why not we taking this pandemic time with positive aspect? Because this time people usually say they are busy, they are not getting time to do their research. But this is right time when we can do this, utilize this time appropriately. For my personal experience, this time I accept many papers, I get many papers for review. So definitely the people are doing the good work during this time. So we must take this pandemic as a positive sense also. So because this theme of this webinar is mathematics and COVID-19, so we must talk about the mathematics also. So I will talk about this some presentation on my specialized field. So reliability revolution toward the industrial system. So industry, everybody know the reliability play a very important role in the industrial system. So, but regarding this reliability, let me just introduce some basic concept for this reliability, because reliability, this was not too old. This was starting during Second World War. After Second World War, when the US Navy and Army got some problem to use their implement their appliances, so they set up a committee, joint committee of US Army and Navy, and they bring a resolution how they can improve the system performances and reduce the failure affected. So now, what is the reliability? We come to discuss what is the reliability. Reliability is nothing. The reliability is a probability that any system will show this adequate performance over the period of time. So if the reliability, if you clearly see, then this reliability, if we impose some condition on probability, that is known as a reliability. That is adequate performance. Reliability is a probability, and secondly, it show adequate performance over a period of time under prescribed the environmental conditions. So now, statistically, we can define the reliability as if T is a time failure and T is a random variable. So RT can be defined as a probability of T, probability that T is greater than T. That is, if T is greater than 0, then the RT will be defined as 1 minus FT, and FT is a failure distribution, and at time t equal to 0, its reliability is 1. That is, system is in perfect state. So, hello. So now everybody is, I think it's not coming. So we are agree that the electronic appliances, hospital and hospital monitoring system, and aircraft, nuclear plant, and data exchange system and controlling system, if they will fail sometime, that will be a catastrophic problem, and that may get an injury and also lose a life also. So then control such situations, the reliability play very important. Then so the reliability keep and how to design the product, so which have the minimum failure, the average time of failure minimum. Then complexity of complex electronic system increasing day by day. Then how to design the system which will show the adequate performance, best performance, by the help of mathematical theories. How we design the mathematical principle can be helpful to design the reliability, to and for a performance system. Reliability, you know, the failure is a natural phenomenon, but how we can control this failure effect? And repair need, every repairable system need the repair. So which type of repair we can will be appropriate to repair that stage? Then how we can design how we can design the system which can help, which may have the minimum failure effect. Now many industrial systems they have imposed some condition to attract their customers. So what are this condition? What is their policy? So if we think about this, we can get the answer of such a problem by the help of reliability theory. So now let me discuss some basic definitions for the reliability theory. So there are some reliability theories. This is performance. Let me call this is performance. 1 minute. Yes, this is not so. This is up. Okay. So some important measures of reliability. So one is availability. What is the reliability? Availability. Hello. 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 I think not going.
Sir, you are audible. Audible, sir. Audible.
Yeah. Okay.
It's okay, sir.
So
please go. It's okay.
Now
please go.
there are some several important measure of reliability which need to be discussed. One is availability. When the regular is employed to the system, then this terminology of reliability measure is known as availability. And if the importance of this availability, because we buy any appliance. Suppose we buy a car, we send it to regular service. Why we send it to regular service? And any appliance, a washing machine, any household appliance. So why we call for repair person? This is because to improve their performance. So we can see this by this availability parameter. Then we practically see, evidently see that this availability parameter, this increase the performance of system. Second is reliability. Reliability, if the system performance, we are not employing the regular repair to the system, then this parameter, reliability measure is called this one.
कॉपी नहीं है मेरे पे भी WhatsApp ही था पुराना, घर पे कॉपी कहां से आई?
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Sir, it's
Hello.
okay. Please go on. Please
Now,
go on.
Hello. Yeah. So how we design the so this minimum time of failure. So failure mean time to system failure is also important measure which we can also study in this level. And sensitivity has a relative variation with respect to the independent variable. Sorry, is known as sensitivity. We also discuss sensitivity analysis in the reliability context. If we running industrial system, then they need the expect profit, how much profit get by this for this repairable system. So profit analysis can also be calculate by this relation EPT equal to this one, where K1 is a revenue generation and K2 is a service cost per unit interval. So now there are some policies to system. There are some important this one parameters or aspect or which we need to be aware about this to study reliability. This is system configuration. There are several type of system configuration available. Series configuration. In series configuration, you know, when we arrange this items in a series, then This is called series configuration. Now, which is important, if failure rate of any system, any unit is fixed, then this system can only work if the all units are okay. That means the multiplicative rule of probability is valid. Then we know the probability lies between 0 and 1. So if we multiply these digits, then definitely when you multiply how many terms we multiply this, we are getting a small and small values. So series configuration, and another is parallel configuration. Parallel configuration, we attach the units in parallel configuration. If this is property, if any one of unit is working, then the system will be in operational mode. So now other is mixed configuration. If we usually in industrial systems, we just design the structure of the system. So this will have the series configuration, parallel configuration. That is all we mix series and parallel configuration. This will be our mixed configuration. And another is a K out of N, G and F configuration. If we have N unit and we assume and we suppose that K units are enough to perform the task adequately, then it is out of N. If K units are enough, then this configuration is known as K out of N configuration. Further, K out of N configuration can be categorized in two types of two configurations: K out of NG and K out of Fn. That means K out of N, the K units are okay, then systems work adequately. And if K out of F, we consider K out of NF. If K unit are failed, the system will fail. Now we talk about the repair. When the system fails, then we take it to repair. Then repair will be different type which follow the different type of distribution. One is general distribution. We call some repair person and we just employ him that you repair it. So such type of distribution is general distribution, and we define this as phi x equal to x. And another is exponential distribution. If exponential distribution is e raised to lambda x. Now, if we employ some person with a general rate, then this take more time, and consequently, when the system will not repair, this cannot work, then the industry or organization will be in loss. And other hand, if we apply the exponential repair rate, if it's that is expert, because you know, everybody know exponential value is increased when this independent variable x increase. So we cannot implement expert or expert together, because if we apply the all expert in department, suppose we have a department and everybody say I'm head of it, it's not that the system will not work. In everybody will say this, I'm a senior doctor, then the patient will definitely suffer. So what do? We couple these two systems, general repair and the exponential repair, and we couple this system, this repairs, then we get a new repair which we call cupula. In the after 19th century, this cupula repair is usually mostly employed by the researchers to repair the system. And cupula is nothing, but if you see the cupula is in cupula we have coupled two types of distribution: general distribution, exponential distribution, and this is very good or friendly to use, so people are using this one. And there may be many different possibility in the system failure: ordinary failure, human failure, catastrophic failure, cooling failure, environmental failure, common cause failure, and such type. Then we have to justify which type of failure is appear and how we can repair this one. And complete failure. Now we have several type of failure also. This is partial failure. Partial failure can also be categorized in two types of failure: major partial failure and major partial failure. And then after complete failure. Minor partial failure means if some unit fail, then this work will perform the task adequately with a minor failure. And if major failure, this is a critical failure. And that means one unit after this stage, if something unit is failed, this system will definitely go to complete failure. So we apply this failure also. And after 19th century, the people before up to 19th century, the people were using this general repair to repair this failed state. In 2006, the Roger Benny Nelson he introduced the cupola models, and so in 20th century, the people use this cupola model to repair the system. So different type of cupolas are available, but for the friendly use, the people usually use this Gammal-Hogarth family cupola with expression is given by downside. So now one important is this supplementary variable. What is the supplementary variable? If system fail at a time, the system is at any time is in failed state, then that cannot become its previous state till a repair variable not employed. And if this repair variable is employed, then system can move to this previous stage. So this technique was introduced by D.R. Cox in 1955. That people use this to study the performance of this reliability models. Then now for this, especially for this one, because to highlight this technique, we have considered a system which has which having n client in star topology and two server, one redundant server together with manual server, and there are some failure effect. So let me explain this one. This we design the configuration, system configuration for this this model which we explained above. This model have entire this state. The PS0 is a perfect state where everything is okay. Now, because we have applied the K-out of NG policy here to solve this system, so S1 is a system after when the K unit are failed. Then if more than K unit, that means N minus K unit are good working condition, then this will go to serious, highly degraded or major partial failure mode. And after this, if any unit fail, this approach to the complete failure state, which is shown by the state S3. Now, when the system is in complete fail, if the system is in degraded mode, then we can employ a general repair to repair it, because this general repair will be somehow this will be cheap, so cheaper than that. In case of complete failure, we need the system upgrade the system quickly. So we employ this complete prepare the complete failure state by cupola variables, cupola distribution, which is known as represented by the mu x. And similarly, we have this system. We this state SW is switch gear state. When the switch fail, the switch will be is failed, then is will goes to the SW state. Then due to switch failure, this will do complete failure. Then we need to repair by this cupola, because we have a policy when the system is in failure, we will repair by cupola. Similarly, is router failure is also serious, will be a complete failure state. Then we again repair this by cupola. Now, for we have two servers. If first server will fail, then we go to degraded mode. And if both server, second server, redundant server repair of the first server, then system will also go to this company. We have represented by the state at 6. Now, so we can, by this structure, transition diagram structure, using the probability models, and we have several this assumption and description we have already described with you, and we have several assumptions which are here. Now, these notations which we have used to model this system. So now how to do mathematical modeling? So from this transition diagram, which is shown in this figure, which we have explained, we can get this differential equation. And how many states we have? So we have so many this state transition equation will have. So we have only write this 4 equations, and also there are some this boundary conditions which are associated here. If suppose system is in any state and we don't want it to repair, then what will be the relation between the failed system and its previous system, previous stage? So they are given here in these boundaries condition. So now we will solve this model by taking Laplace transform of state transition equations and this boundary conditions. We can then we can get the partial differential equation, ordinary differential equation, by taking that Laplace transform. Then if we solve these the differential equations, then we can get the state Laplace transform of state transition probability of every state, which we have mentioned here. P0 state, because S0 was the perfect states, and this will be the state transition probability. System is in S0 state. Similarly, the system where this P1s, P2s, P3s, and so on, they are the state transition probability when the system be in this one, these state. Now, when the system is in operation mode, so that either that must be in perfect state or in degraded state. So if you see, then state S0, S1, S2, and S4 are the operational state, which are represented in this diagram, and 1 minus P up S is the down state when the system is not in operation mode. Now we discuss the reliability parameters. So if we assume the expression which we explained in the cupula, mu0s is a copular pair and phi is a general repair. So if we use this as mu0s and phi s in this PFS equation, we will get some expression. If we wanted to wish to discuss the particular cases, so we have to assign the value for this failure rate, which we have introduced in differential equation, and we have introduced these failure rates in our differential equation, and there is a term n and k in our system description. So we, for different values of n and k, we have compute this result, which is expressions ABCD. Expressions will represent when n is equal to 30 and k is equal to 20. That means 20 out of 30. And second, 15 out of 30, 10 out of 13, 5 out of 13. So we have examined how the performance which system will be okay. So if we give the different values of time t, so we can get this table. So first column of this table is 20 out of 30, 20 out of 30 G. Second is 15 out of 30 G, and C is 10 out of 30 G, and fourth is 5 out of 30 G. So if you see this table, then if you see this table, what is this one? Let me check this upside. So if you see this table, then you will find If you see stable, then you will find that downside availability. N is equal to 30 and K is equal to 20 is minimum. Then after N is equal to 30, K is equal to 15 is somewhat higher, and also 30 out 10 out of 30 is also higher. Then consequently, when we reduce the value of K, the availability is increases when the system follow two types of distribution: general distribution and coupler distribution. Next, we have discussed the availability when the system is only follow the general pair. So by taking these values, above values, and failure rate, we will get such star A star, B star, C star, D star, etc. And by using the value T, same value of time, then we can get the stability. So, and if you see in diagram, this values when the system follows the general repair, the value is lower than the previous one when the system follow the coupler distribution. That means we can conclude coupler is a best repair, better than the general repair. So that's why we need to repair the coupler system using joint probability distribution coupler. And then after we repair, what is the reliability? Well, when we discuss in this basic concept of this reliability is when we don't apply the repair, then this reliability, this measure of this reliability is called reliability analysis. So if we put this repair y and mu 0 in those expression PFS, then taking inverse Laplace transform, we will get the reliability R1, R2 up to R2 for same rate of variation, same rate of failure and failure, because repair we are taking 0. Now for different value of time, we get different expression, and we draw the graph from these four expression A star, B star, C star, D star. Then you see this figure, graphs are almost very much closer. That means when we apply coupler, then for different values of N and K, that means value of N 30, fixed value of N 30, and varying values K 20, 15, 10, and 5. Even the reliability is very close. And now question is why? Because when we calculate reliability, we take the rate at 0. So when repair the other state, after perfect stage will not have contribution. That's why the graph is coming to close. Now, second parameter, this is very important for system reliability, mean time to system. For repairable system, our motto is to how to get the mean time to failure, minimum mean time to failure. So by the expression, the mean time to failure, integral expected time of failure, we can get this expression which is shown in this equation, and for different values, keeping fixed the values of some variable with failure rate and varying the lambda 1. We're keeping fixed lambda s w, lambda r, this one, and lambda s, and varying this one lambda 1 from 0.1 to we can get this first column of this second column of this table corresponding to the failure rate lambda 1, second column for SW, and third column lambda SR, and this one, so on. Now if we see the graph for this one, now for lambda 1, this MTTF is increasing. Then what is our motto? Our motto is to reduce the mean time to failure. So from this calculation, this representation, it is clear that lambda 1 is more responsible to fail the system. So we have to control this lambda 1 even when we use this one copula, and I think we have calculated this MTTF because in availability and reliability we have discussed 4 cases, but here for MTTF we have only come to two stages for n equal to 30, k equal to 20. Then after we have also calculated n is for n equal to 30 and k equal to 10, and to know the how, if we see when we reduce the value of k, then the lambda 1 is still increasing, but is greater than the previous one. So when we reduce the value of k, the mean time to system failure is also increased. So this is produce a very negative effect. Now, cost analysis, when we run the system, any system, we need to expect the net profit. So our net profit from this operation. If K1, if we K1 is revenue generated in 0 t, K2 is a success score. That expression put to we generate in the interval 0 t. Now for different values, assign different values for this failure rate, which we discussed in availability and reliability section. Then we can compute the expected profit expression, which is divided by EP1, EP2, up to EP4. Then for different value, and we have fixed, try to check whether this value of variation of value of k is affect the profit generation. So we have calculated this one, and we have so checked that for n equal to first when this k is 20, for first case n equal to 30 and k is equal to 20, this profit is some after some stage increasing, and similarly n equal to 30 and 15, this profit is increasing. That means when reduce okay, then the expected profit is increasing. So if you think about the availability case, the availability, we have also concluded that when the value of k was reduced, then the availability was increasing. That means availability is directly associated with this profit analysis, profit gain. So
Professor
we have
Bejabri
discussed
Singh,
for the different values. Yeah.
Professor Bejabri Singh, can we request you to sum up the lecture within 2 to 3 minutes, because 2 speakers are also waiting. Please, I request you to wind up the lecture within 3 to 4
Okay, yeah, okay. So we have discussed the result for this one for different values, and we have discussed the nature of by the nature of graph of table, how the system is performing, and how we can improve the performance system for using the copula. And in this one paper, we have only applied this Gamma-Logar family copula. This study can also be done by different copula, Archimedean copula, Cailleton copula, Franklin copula, and other copulas which are available. We can implement this the copulas to repair and get how whether the system performance increasing by other copulas on the base of this computation. So they are several references, and because time is very so thank you for your invitation, and I'm very much grateful that you invite me for this to share my views from regarding to my research area. Also say thankful to everybody for this one where member organization committee of it.
Thank you very much for your nice information on the reliability and how to use reliability in various problems. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Dr. Sanjeev, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, Professor Chaudhary, and thank you very much, Professor Bejabri Singh, for providing a nice information to our attendees. Now, Professor Deepak Kumar is with us. Before that,
कुमार सर, प्लीज एक रिक्वेस्ट है आपसे, 15 मिनट में करिए, सेकंड वेबिनार है, उसमें दिक्कत हो जाएगी उन लोगों।
ठीक है, नहीं मैं इसको बाइंड अप कर दूंगा अभी 15 मिनट के अंदर, डोंट वरी।
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so Professor Sundaral sir, can you hear me? Still there is no voice from this side. I think some trouble somehow, I don't know. हाँ सर, आपकी वॉइस नहीं आ रही है अभी भी. हाँ सर, वो अभी आया नहीं सर मेरे पास. अच्छा, लेट मी चेक इट सर. सर मैं देखता हूँ. जस्ट होल्ड अ मिनट एवरीवन, आई एम जस्ट गोइंग टू चेक. दूसरा फोन लेके आओ. Just wait a moment for 1 minute. Let me check it. If I receive the voice of Professor Sundaral sir, I'll express over here. In the meanwhile, I request Professor Deepak Kumar to say a few words about such a situation. But before we start, Professor Deepak Kumar ji, I request you to bind up 6 to 7 minutes because we has to close this webinar urgently. Okay, please. So try to bind up it. Professor Deepak Kumar.
Sir, kindly share my screen.
You can share yourself, no problem. You are having the command for that.
उसमें कोई कमांड नहीं है.
नहीं, आप जहाँ पे आपका कैमरा माइक है उसके ठीक नीचे.
नहीं इधर से ही करना होगा. अमन,
उधर से
शेयरिंग से आ जाएगा ना उनका.
हो गया, शेयर हो गया. एक्सेप्ट कर लें सर. शो स्क्रीन. Click on show screen. Okay, visible.
Now it is visible.
Deepak, we got it. Begin, please.
So Deepak, try to finish within 5 to 6 minutes, please, because Sundaral sir is also waiting. Please.
I will try my level best, sir. I am going to present here
Okay,
mathematical models on COVID-19. Actually, on December 31st, in 2019, health authorities in China reported to WHO a cluster of virus pneumonia cases of unknown cause in Wuhan. The virus that caused the outbreak is known as SARS-CoV-2, a newly discovered virus closely related to the bat coronavirus. The scientific consensus is the COVID-19 has a natural origin. Now, how it is spread? It spread the droplets generated when an infected person cough, sneeze, or exhales. Actually, this is the infectious disease. And initially, the virus symptoms was recognized. But with respect to time, there are so many cases has been seen in Delhi. The person do not have any symptoms, but person is infected with the coronavirus disease. Let's see the basic definitions. An epidemic disease is the disease that affects a large number of people within a community, population, or region. In a pandemic is an epidemic that is spread over multiple countries. An endemic is something that belongs to particular location in people. An outbreak is a sudden increase in occurrence of a disease in a particular time and place. It may affect a localized group or impact upon thousands of people. Now consider the come to the mathematical epidemiology has the most exciting application in the field of such disease, where epidemiology helps to provide sufficient information required by the human health policies maker for prevention of infectious disease and promotion of health. A mathematical model, my initial speakers discussed already about the mathematical modeling. Now I've come to the very simplest model here, formula of compound growth, because here the growth of patients is increasing, because one person can infect the 2% and 2% infect the 4%, and the first person can infect the other persons also. So I have taken this data from Arogya Setu app. At 24th May, 1 lakh of people in India were affected with coronavirus. If lockdown is applicable, or we will follow the conditions of lockdown, then its growth will be in this manner. It's not very much. If lockdown is opened in government, then its growth will be more increasing. It depends on the growth rate. Now I consider the first SIR model. First of all, I have to see what is the SIR model. S is the susceptible class, I is the infective class, and R is the recovered class at here. Beta showing the transmission rate of infectious disease, and alpha is the recovery rate of infectious disease. This is the SIR model, and its solution is like this. R will be increasing, recovered rate will be increasing with respect to time, and the infected person will be going down with respect to time, because recovery rate is increasing in India as well. Now, the second model, I have taken the SITR model. T is considered the new variable at here. T is the treatment class. This is the actually active cases which is admitted in the hospital, and its solution graphically will be like this. S, blue line is showing the blue curve is S, and T is the treatment cases, there is a red, and I is the infected cases, R is the recovered class at here. I consider the second new model at here. If the person is infected with the first disease, it may be that if he is admitted in the hospital for treatment, he can get the secondary infection at there. Due to lack of hygiene or due to lack of immunity of a person, that case may be possible. That is the model of the secondary infection. And I have considered here the age-dependent model also, because it has been seen that government see that people has the old age people death is more due to the coronavirus. That's why I'm thinking, why cannot we see the rate of growth, or it depend on age also? So infected person age may be considered for the making a model of the COVID-19. So I have taken the ds by dt, the first equation of SIR model. We can change this equation with the age as a parameter, the 0 to tau. So that can vary, and its growth rate will be vary according to the age. The conclusion of this, various types of mathematical models have been used in mathematical epidemiology. By modifying the basic SIR, we have obtained proposed infectious disease compartment ODE model for further development in the future epidemiology. Modified SIR model, or we can make some other model, advancement of SIR model can possible allow decision maker to make a better informed decision, on the impact of future epidemic, endemic, or pandemic stages, and to determine the appropriate intervention for limiting case of the complication. This work also provide the considerable role of correlation of mathematical modeling and dynamic aspects of some specific diseases. Now, these are the references at here which I have considered for this work, and thank you very much. I think I have completed it within time, 5 to 6 minutes.
Thank you very much, Professor Deepak Kumar. I am really thankful to you that you wind up your lecture within 5 to 6 minutes because of time constraint. Otherwise, we will love to listen you all of these speakers. No doubt, the speaker who were present their work over here is a marvelous work. I am really appreciate from my heart but because of time constraints, we were not in the position to give you the full time over here. Now, I'm going to provide you the blessings of Professor Sundarlal sir. Please listen carefully.
Thank you.
Chairman of this session and the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Ashok Mittalji, Professor Sanjay Chaudhary, Head Department of Mathematics, Professor Ajay Taneja, Chairman IQAC, Professor Sanjeev Kumar, Organizing Secretary, Professor V.K. Saraswat, Technical Secretary, our learned international speakers, guest faculty, and dear participants. First, I congratulate the Honorable Vice Chancellor for leading and motivating our faculty members for keeping alive the academic activities during this depressing period of COVID-19. I also appreciate the enthusiasm of our faculty members with which they are engaged in such activities. Friends, COVID-19 is a calamity. COVID-19 is a challenge. Mathematics, the oldest branch of human knowledge, is always there, be it a challenge, be it a calamity. COVID-19 is strangely dangerous. It is painfully severe. Its data is erratic. It has no definite symptoms. Its tests are uncertain. Doubt exists about its relapsing. We are in an unprecedented situation as there is no effective drug. Vaccine is a distant dream. Scientific community is in dark about its origin. It's changing behavior from place to place, etc. The question is mathematics alive to this horrible, depressing scenario? There are three weapons in our armory, and they are prevention, medication, and vaccination. However, it is the prevention aspect where mathematics can play a part, an effective role. Almost every nation has taken some initiative or the other to face the situation that the number of infected people is increasing fast. Scientifically developed nations have sponsored projects to study the effect of social distancing, lockdowns, migrant labors, economic slowdown, unemployment, etc. A troubling dimension of the situation is that the usual model based on the so-called SIR, susceptible, infected, recovered approach, or the agent-based approach are not proving much effective. The oldest scientific society of the world, the Royal Society, has established a task force called Rapid Assistance in Modeling the Pandemic, shortened as RAMP, whose primary aim is to understand how possible exit strategies from the lockdown conditions could work. RAMP is also supposed to coordinate the efforts to build computing and modeling capacities needed to explore possible exit strategies, refine the predictions, and try to understand best ways forward. Alan Turing Institute has formed a task force for data scientists. Several universities have formed a virtual forum for mathematics, that is VFM COVID-19. Some non-trivial traditional methods are also being applied in this situation. And this is apart from the usual mathematical methods. Soft matter group, SMG, works on materials such as emulsions, foams, powders, liquids, and has nothing to do with COVID-19. However, this group, which is led by an Indian-born scientist, Ranjay Adhikari, collaborated with the REMP group of Royal Society and developed an approach which lies between the usual SIR approach and the agent-based approach. Professor Adhikari studied lockdown problems and used data from Indian population to validate his predictions. It proves to be fairly beneficial. Well, friends, the situation is grim, but there should be no need to get panicky. Our forefathers taught us to remain composed and calm, be it calamity, be it prosperity. Let us accept that COVID-19 has come to test our patience and to show us our limitations. Let us be sure that this COVID-19 will depart by equipping us with enhanced courage, enhanced confidence, enhanced competence. With appreciation to organizers, best wishes to the speakers, and blessings to my students, I close. Thank you. Jai.
Thank you very much, Professor Sundaral sir. Now I'll ask Professor Sanjay Chaudhary sir to sum up within 1 or 2 minutes. Then after, Dr. Shyamli Gupta will say a vote of thanks. Professor Sanjay Chaudhary sir.
I think everything is gone quite fine. Every attendees is actually going to get quite of the mathematical model. Everything is okay. Let the Shyamli do the thanks to finish the webinar.
Thank you very much. Now, Dr. Shyamli, please say a vote of thanks to every speaker and organizer.
Thank you very much, sir. Do you hear me?
Yeah, sure, you can.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Please begin.
Good afternoon to you all. Honorable Chairman of this webinar, Professor Ashok Mittal, Vice Chancellor Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University, Agra, Professor Sundarlal, ex-Vice Chancellor, Purvanchal University, Jaunpur, Professor Zomer F. Razante, University of Philippines, Professor Ghazi S. Khamas, Al-Aqsa University, Gaza, Professor Vijay Singh, YMC University, Kamu, Nigeria, Professor Deepak Kumar, Manav Rachna University, Professor Ajay Taneja, Professor Sanjay Chaudhary sir, Professor Sanjeev Kumar, Professor V.K. Saraswat, all the participants, ladies and gentlemen. I feel honored and privileged to get an opportunity to propose vote of thanks on this special occasion. This is a very difficult time when the whole world is suffering from a great pandemic, COVID-19. Schools, colleges, universities are closed, but the learning process cannot stop. Online learning is a great medium of learning in this present time. Webinars are very good medium in this chain. Now, in the present situation, mathematicians use modeling to represent, analyze, and make prediction on otherwise provide insight into real-world phenomena. Keeping this in mind, the present webinar on the topic Mathematical Analysis of COVID-19 is organized by the Department of Mathematics and IQAC of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University, Agra. I, Shyamli Gupta, on behalf of the organizing committee of the present webinar, convey deep regards and heartily thanks to the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University, Agra, Professor Ashok Mittal, for encouraging us and in this present webinar and sharing his vision of higher education to match the best in the world. We are grateful, we are greatly encouraged by his gracious presence and immensely benefited by his inspiring address. Thank you very much, sir. We are extremely grateful to Professor Sundarlal, ex-Vice Chancellor, Purvanchal University, for his support, encouragement, and guidance. We are also thankful to you, sir, for your great speech on mathematics and COVID-19. In the present webinar, in the technical session of the present webinar, we had four speakers. Basically, the first speaker is Professor Jomar F. Rabazante, our first Professor Rabazante from University of Philippines. I wish to express our profuse thanks to Professor Rabazante for giving his valuable time for his extremely busy schedule and showing his views on COVID-19 and giving a valuable talk on the topic how to move forward when epidemiological model on COVID-19 disagree. Thank you very much, sir. My deep regards and thanks to Professor Ghazi S. Khamas from Al-Aqsa University, Gaza, for giving his valuable time and sharing his word of knowledge and giving us a very, very encourageable speech on the topic mathematics and corona crisis. I would like to take the opportunity to place on record our heartily thanks to Professor Vijay Veer Singh, YMC University, Kamo, Nigeria, for giving his presentation on the topic reliability and its revolution towards industrial system. Thank you very much, sir. I am thankful to Professor Ajay Taneja, Director IQAC and Dean Research, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Agra University, for giving his knowledge on COVID-19 situation. I'm thankful to Professor Deepak Kumar to sharing his from Manav Rachna University to sharing his views on this corona crisis. Now, I'm thankful to Professor Sanjay Chaudhary, convener of the present webinar, for his guidance and organizing such an event of academic development. I express my sincere thanks to Professor Sanjeev Kumar for the perfect logistical support and guidance that he has extended to all of us. Now, I convey my sincere thanks to Professor V.K. Saraswat, Director IET, for his technical support. Now, the most important thank is my special thanks and heartily thanks to all the distinguished participants from different places to attend the present webinar. At the end, I thanks to one and all for this kind of for their kind presence and making the event a great success. Thank you very much, sir. Stay healthy, stay safe, and thank you very much.
Can we answer? अनम्यूट करिए सर अपने को डॉक्टर साहब अनम्यूट करिए.
So Sanjeev, unmute yourself first.
Sorry, thank you. I'm just going to include a few names. I'm just going to thankful to Professor Avnish Kumar, who is the chairman of CSTT, who listened this webinar very carefully. I am also thankful to Professor Bhagwati Chabola. He is from JP University. Professor O.P. Misra from Jivaji University. Professor Meenakshi Srivastava, Professor Benita Singh, Professor B.P. Singh, Professor Bindu Shekhar Sharma, Professor Manoj Kumar Srivastava, and many more different field professors who has listened this seminar very carefully. I am really very, very, very much thankful to everyone. Thank you very much.
Can we end?
Namaste. Jai Hind. Jai Bharat.
Jai Hind. Jai Bharat.